In my last video, we took the best player from each team and ranked them from best to worst, and today's video will be following along that theme, but in a slight variation. Instead, in today's video, we'll now be taking the Robin to their Batman, meaning the second best player or the sidekick of the team. Basically, we're taking the second best player from every team in the league and ranking them from worst to best again. There will probably be some debate about some selections, as some teams have a few guys very close in talent, but I did the best with what I could with the choices, so yeah. Before we start though, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at the bottom of the list, the 30th and worst Robin in the league at the moment is Collin Sexton of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sexton's rookie season last year wasn't necessarily bad by any means, and he definitely did show some promise, especially in the second half of the season as a scorer, but ultimately, he still has a ways to go in his development, and compared to the rest of the number 2s in the league, he's a tier below at the moment. At number 29, we have Nicolas Batum of the Charlotte Hornets. Batum at his peak was a terrific role player on the wing with a nice balance of production across the board, but in the present, he's far over the hill and is now eating up a ton of cap space. At number 28, we have Thomas Bryant of the Washington Wizards. Bryant broke out big time last season after a relatively non-productive rookie season and is now a nice piece of the Wizards' rotation. Unfortunately, him being tasked with being a number 2 option is much more than he should have on his plate, and again, compared to the rest of the league, just doesn't quite match up. At number 27, we have Justise Winslow of the Miami Heat. Winslow has struggled at times throughout his career so far, but last year he seemingly really excelled as a point forward. We'll see how many opportunities he'll get to continue on that progression this year with Jimmy Butler now on the team and Goran Dragic back healthy, but he's showed some signs of growth that are promising. At number 25, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jackson missed some time because of injury as a rookie, but in the games he played, he did show off the kind of skill set bigs need to have in today's league, being able to shoot from deep, protect the rim, and just fit into the flow of the offense. He's still very young and has plenty of time to develop, so down the road, he may shoot up this list. At number 24, we have DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns. Ayton was the number 1 pick last year, and while Luka Doncic and Trae Young stole the show, Ayton also had a pretty solid first year. He does need to improve a bit on the defensive end, but his face-up game on offense is already pretty impressive. At number 23, we have Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic. Gordon's a supreme athlete that does a little bit of everything out on the floor, but doesn't necessarily excel in one specific part of the game. He's a very nice piece in the Magic lineup, but hasn't taken the step towards stardom that some thought he had in him yet. At number 22, we have Lauri Markkanen of the Chicago Bulls. Markkanen is a 7-footer with some guard-like skills, as he can shoot well from the perimeter and even take defenders off the dribble. As he progresses, his efficiency should raise a bit, and if or when that happens, he's got some serious star potential. At number 21, we have Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. Ingram has been scrutinized for being compared to Kevin Durant and failing to live up to that hype, but overall, he's still shown plenty of signs that he'll be a very good player throughout his career. He needs to improve a bit as a 3-point shooter, but overall, he's improved every year in the league, and that trend should continue. At number 20, we have Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics. The Tatum hype was through the roof before last season, but then he took a step back as a player in year 2, and things cooled off a bit. He's still capable of being a go-to scorer for the team, but he has to take smarter shots and learn to play more within the flow of the offense. At number 19, we have John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Collins nearly averaged 20 and 10 this past season, and while the Hawks weren't a very good team, and it's still too early to tell whether this is just another case of good numbers on a bad team, he is still a very promising young player regardless. At number 18, we have Danilo Gallinaria of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Out of everyone, not only on this list, but in the league in general, Gallinari is probably one of the most slept on players in general. He's coming off what very well may be his best season as a pro, where he put up 20 points per game on supreme efficiency and was a big part of the Clippers' success last season. At number 17, we have Myles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. Turner's one of the best defensive big men in the league, can knock down threes at a good rate, and doesn't force too much. His offensive game may not be quite as far along as many hoped it would be, but defensively he's incredibly impactful. At number 16, we have Robert Covington of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Cov is a premier defensive player in the league that always finishes near the top of the league in deflections and steals, and does all of the little things on that end of the floor. The term 3&D fits him to a T, and his impact is felt every time he's on the court. At number 15, we have Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings. Hield was drafted to be an elite shooter of the basketball, and he has become exactly that with the Kings and more. He averaged 21 points on the wing while shooting the ball 43% from deep on 8 attempts per game, making him one of the best shooters in the association. At number 14, we have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. Murray's an extremely talented young shot creator that can go off on any given night. Like most young players though, he needs to work on his consistency, but in general, he's been key to the Nuggets' offensive success alongside Nikola Jokic. At number 13, we have Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. Now, with Kawhi Leonard gone, there's a good chance that he could be the team's best player, but in my last video I gave Kyle Lowry the slightest edge because of his experience. Siakam's coming off of a campaign where he won Most Improved Player, and is in for another big leap this year by being trusted with a much bigger role on the team. At number 12, we have DeMar DeRozan of the San Antonio Spurs. DeRozan's interesting because he's a score-first wing player that gets 20 a night easily, but through 10 seasons has yet to add anything close to a reliable three-point shot. Still very good, but he tends to thrive most on relatively low-quality looks. At number 11, we have Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons. Drummond is perhaps the best rebounder in the NBA, having led the league there 3 of the past 4 years. He's also a pretty good defensive big man that gets an unprecedented amount of steals for a center, and while he may not be the most skilled on offense, he does his work in many other ways. Now, starting off the top 10 of this list of sidekicks, we have Khris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. Middleton's a smooth player on the wing that shoots it well and provides Giannis the spacing he needs to flourish. He made his first All-Star game last year and has become one of the top second options in the league without any expectations to do so. At number 9, we have Mike Conley of the Utah Jazz. Conley's been the definition of a fringe all-star for years, often playing at an all-star level, but just missing the cut. Now moving from Memphis to Utah, he'll play the role at point guard that the team has desperately needed at a very high level. At number 8, we have CJ McCollum of the Portland Trail Blazers. While Dame is clearly the bad man of the team, McCollum does a damn good job as the Robin alongside him, providing another high-level score and together forming one of the best backcourts in the league. At number 7, we have Kristaps Porzingis of the Dallas Mavericks. The Unicorn has a skill set we really haven't seen in the league yet, as he shoots the ball exceptionally well from 3 and thrives on the perimeter while also being a 7'3" rim protector. He hasn't been on the court in over a year, so it may take him a while to return to form, but he'll still be a terrific running mate alongside Luka Doncic. At number 6, we have Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. He's one of the most hated on players in the league because of his unwillingness to shoot jump shots, but the thing that often gets brushed under the rug is just how good at the rest of the game that he is. He averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game last year, while also being one of the most versatile defenders in the league, and is definitely a top-tier sidekick alongside Joel Embiid. At number 5, we have Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. The second splash bro is a walking heat check, and while Steph gets all the attention for being the best shooter of all time, Klay is also up there with the all-time greats in that regard as well, while also playing some very good on-ball defense against opposing teams' best players. At number 4, we have Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. He's going to be the number 1 option this year, but that's just because Kevin Durant is currently injured. His handles are lethal, he scores the ball incredibly efficiently for a guard that creates his own shot, and is now getting a fresh start on a new team. At number 3, we have Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. He's now reunited with his longtime friend James Harden, and together they form an MVP backcourt. He's averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons now, which is pretty ridiculous, but he needs to improve his efficiency in order to succeed in D'Antoni's system. At number 2, we have Paul George of the Los Angeles Clippers. He was an MVP candidate last season and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate as well, as he truly is one of the best two-way players in the league. After being teamed up with Russell Westbrook last year, he's now playing alongside Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, and together they have championship aspirations. Now, last but definitely not least, at number 1 on this list for best sidekicks in the league, we have Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. Davis is a legitimate superstar in the league, but after everything he did last year quitting on the Pelicans, he's going to have a lot to prove while also playing alongside LeBron James after the Lakers failed to make the playoffs last season. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.